And for anyone who is new with us today, my name is Alicia. My pronouns are she and her. And I'm practicing with you today on the native lands of the Tunaka, Spokane, and Shuswap tribes, now known as Spokane, Washington. And I always like to acknowledge that the practice of yoga originated thousands of years ago in ancient India and has been passed down from teacher to student. And I'm thankful to my teachers for sharing their knowledge with me so that I can be here to hold space for you as you explore your own yoga practice. And anything that I offer today are simply invitations, and I encourage you to follow your own intuition, tap into your own bodily wisdom, and let that guide you throughout our time together today. You're the expert on your body, and this is your practice, so please adapt it in any way that would feel good for your body in this moment today. And we can start to find a comfortable seat. You might like to take the skin out and back under each hip, and then let the feet rest flat on the floor, the knees roughly stacking above the ankles, and you can let the knees relax a comfortable distance apart. Allow the spine to lengthen up tall. You might even like to take the shoulders and roll them forward, up towards the ears, and then gently press them down and back, and then let them settle down away from the ears. And in a moment here, I'm going to invite the bell to drop us into our centering. Then we will transition to some gentle seated warm-up movements. We'll eventually make our way to standing for some standing and balancing postures. And then we'll return to the chair for our Shavasana or integration and relaxation time. So now's a good time, if it's a supportive practice for you, to close the eyes, or maybe you'd prefer to simply soften the gaze down. And I'll invite the bell to drop us in. As we come back to our virtual space together, you might like to acknowledge the presence of everyone who's here today. Thinking of them with kindness and appreciation for them choosing to take this same time out of their day, coming back to themselves and their practice as you choose to do the same. You might even play with letting just the beginnings of a smile start to upturn the corners of the mouth. And then noticing just that small gesture, the beginnings of a smile, changes in any way how you're feeling in this moment. Just being open to noticing. And when you feel ready, you can let your awareness drift inward to the different sensations of the body. What do you notice about where your feet are in contact with the floor? where your bum is in contact with the chair. Perhaps noticing pressure and support from the floor and the chair beneath you. And letting the body start to soften into this support, letting it hold you. Tapping into the grounding qualities that you might find there. Then you can let your awareness be more open to other sensations in the body. You may start to notice changes in temperature of the air against the skin. Maybe the texture of clothing. And there are many different sensations you might be noticing through touch, throughout the body, without trying to categorize anything. Let's see if we can simply open to feeling them without any judgment. Getting curious about these sensations in a way that we may not have before. And then you can shift your awareness to the natural rhythm of the breath. You might choose to rest one hand on the belly, as you tune into this natural rhythm. And with each inhale, you can allow the belly to expand into the palm of your hand. And then with each exhale, allowing the belly to relax and settle back towards the spine. Encouraging the belly, heart, throat, jaw, and tongue to be soft. Maybe adding a bit more ease for the path in and out through the nostrils. And without purposefully trying to make any major changes to the breath, can you simply settle back and observe the current qualities of the breath without any judgment? And as you're simply settling back, you're sitting here and breathing. What kind of thoughts and emotions might be coming up? It's normal for the mind to wander away from your intended focus, which might be the qualities of the breath. Can you open to what's happening in this moment? And that might be that thoughts and emotions are arising. Without trying to push any of them away or grasping on to any of them, can you allow these thoughts and emotions to arise, change, pass away in their own time? Just saying hello to these thoughts and emotions and acknowledging they're there. But you don't need to be swept away by them. You can simply return to the fact that you're sitting here and breathing. Then you can let your awareness expand, encompassing your entire body, your breath, and your spirit. Allowing your awareness and your senses to be open to receiving whatever comes up for your attention. And I'm going to invite in an intention from Kelly Nicole Palmer's book, Manifest. I am worthy of liberation. I want to focus on thriving towards that liberation, not on surviving. I don't want to figure out a way to exist within oppression. I want to cultivate an entirely new way of being, of living, of loving. I want to center joy. I want to set aside old stories. I want to relieve myself of feeling like I wasn't enough and too much all at the same time. I want to celebrate. I want to cherish it. I want to bask in it and enjoy it. So I am. Let's go ahead and take 3 full breaths together. Inhaling through the nose, and then on the exhale, pursing the lips as if you're blowing out through a straw. Letting that exhale be long and slow and smooth. The bottom of the exhale, you may choose to give the belly a gentle pull in. And after all the air is out, you can release the belly. And let the next inhale simply arise on its own with the least amount of effort. Let's give it a try. Inhaling through the nose. Exhale through that straw. Focusing on a long, slow exhale, Maybe pulling the belly in at the bottom to get all the air out. Then releasing the belly. Let the next inhale arise on its own. And after your third exhale, whenever it comes, go ahead and let your breath relax back into its own natural rhythm, which may or may not be different than before you did your breathing practice. Just being open to notice any differences or none at all. Then you can open the eyes if they were closed, and then take the opportunity to reconnect to your space by moving the eyes, head and neck around, taking in the shapes and colors, textures. And then if it feels good for you in this moment, you can choose to let those movements extend to other areas of the body, without giving these movements a lot of extra thought or planning. Can you simply allow your body to move in a way that feels good to you and supportive in this moment? You might find yourself moving in ways that you don't normally move. Just let that bodily wisdom guide you. And as you start to feel complete with your own movements, we can go ahead and meet back at center. Again, with the feet being flat on the floor, you can inhale and allow the spine to lengthen up all the way through the top of the head, while also letting the shoulders relax down away from the ears. And then on your next inhale, start to tuck the chin in towards the throat as you roll the chin in and down towards the chest, elongating through the back of the neck. And then next inhale, rolling the right ear over towards the right shoulder. Exhale, rolling the chin back towards the chest. And then inhaling the left ear towards the left shoulder. So feel free to move here at your own pace. Whatever the pace of your breath today, that can inform the pace of your movement, linking the breath and the movement. Let's do one more each side, or until you feel even. And on your last one, you can come from the chin towards the chest, start to roll the neck up, and then gently look up, just lifting the chin a bit, whatever's comfortable for the back of your neck. And then exhale, tucking the chin in towards the throat and rolling the chin towards the chest. So let's do a few more of these. Inhale, gently lifting the chin, gazing up, maybe towards where the ceiling meets the wall. And then exhale, rolling back down. Let's do one more round here. And then after your last one, rolling the neck, the chin back up to neutral. Let's take the fingertips to the tops of the shoulders. And then inhaling, pressing the elbows towards each other. Then bringing the elbows up. And exhaling as you press the elbows back and down and around. So inhale, elbows come towards each other, up, and exhale back and down and around. So feel free to move here now at your own pace. And really listening to your body. It's your choice how close your elbows get to each other. It's your choice how fast you go. Let's do one more round. And after your last one, let's release the arms down to the sides, let them dangle, and give them a shake. Let's extend the arms out to the side, a little below shoulder height, taking gentle fists. Let's roll the wrists one direction, another direction. Let's bring the arms in front, extending the fingers. Let's flex the wrists down and up. And next time your wrists are extended, let's move the palms side to side, rotate rather the hands in and out. Let's bring in the pinkies, then the ring finger, middle finger, pointer finger, and thumb, and then reverse that. Can take a little coordination with the fingers. Checking in with the shoulders, the jaw and tongue. Can you let them soften any amount more? Let's open the fingers wide, keeping the thumbs out, closing the fingers, reaching the tips of the fingers down towards the direction of the wrist. Let's do one more. And then let's release the arms, give them a good shake. That's a lot of work for the arms. Let's go ahead and grab our strap. I have a long strap, so I'm going to fold mine in half here. Let's take the strap into gentle fists. We'll start about shoulder width distance, maybe a little bit wider. On your next inhale, lengthening the arms forward and out front. And then on your exhale, rotating the left fist so your palm is facing up, and then pull the left arm in tight along the side as you reach across with the right. And then inhale, unwind back to center. Exhale, rotating the right fist so the thumb is up, and then pulling the right arm in, hugging it in along the right side as you reach across with the left. And then inhale to unwind back to center. So you can go ahead and move here again at your own pace, linking the breath and the movement. Whatever the pace of your breath is can guide the pace of your movement. And you also don't need to get too hung up on the rotation of the fists. That is simply something that I find goes along with pulling the arm in and hugging it along the side. It seems more natural to me to have the thumb side of my fist being up. Let the shoulders relax down as you're moving. Let's do one more each side. And then we'll release the strap to the thighs. Let's give the arms another shake. And we can go ahead and set our strap off to the side for now. Let's go ahead and let that spine lengthen up comfortably tall again and start to rotate the torso around. So we're keeping the spine long and letting the torso rotate around over the hips. You can link the breath in the movement here. You might like to inhale as you come back and exhale as you come forward. But there's no right or wrong here, so if you'd like to reverse the order of your breath, feel free to do that. And next time you come through center, let's switch and go the opposite direction. Maybe if it feels good to close the eyes, you can close the eyes, and that might help you tune in to the different sensations of the body as you're moving here. What do you notice about the shifting of the weight from one side to the other? Letting the mind rest on the awareness of what's true for you in this moment. As you start to feel even both directions, we'll meet back at center. Let's extend the right leg with the heel to the floor, keeping a micro bend in that right knee, left foot on the floor. Let's inhale, lengthening up the spine, letting the shoulders settle down. And on an exhale, start to hinge forward at the hips, keeping the spine long. You can walk the hands down the thighs. Just looking to get some length through the back and also through the back of the right leg. You can play with how far forward you are in your chair, what feels best for you. And then pressing gently into both feet, you can hinge back up. Let's rotate the right ankle one direction and other direction. Point and flex the foot. And then point the foot, maybe even bringing the entire foot to the floor. Start to drag that right foot in towards the body. When it gets in close, let's squeeze the right knee up and exhaling it down. Then we'll switch to the other side. So extending, straightening the left leg, keeping a micro bend in that left knee, flexing the foot back towards the rest of the body, maybe coming to sit towards the front of your chair. Inhale, lengthening up the spine, and then exhale, hinging from the hips with a long spine. Start to hinge forward towards that left leg, any amount, really listening to your body for how far you choose to go. Let the shoulders soften. And then pressing into both feet, use that to help you hinge back up. Let's rotate the left ankle one direction and other direction. Point and flex. And then point the foot, bringing the whole foot to the floor. Start to drag that left foot in towards the rest of the body. When you get in close, inhale the left knee up, and exhale, slowly lower it down. Let's shake out the legs, moving the knees in and out. You might be rocking onto the outsides of the feet. Let's give the heels a bounce, waking up the legs. And then as you feel ready, let's go ahead and make our way to standing in whatever way feels best for you. You can remove the blanket from the seat of the chair if you're using one. And then let's come to stand in front of the seat of our chair. And to stand in front of the seat of our chair, let's find our Tadasana, our mountain pose. So to do this, you can start with the feet maybe hip width distance apart, hip bone distance apart. Start to rock back and forth a bit on the feet, side to side. As you start to find the triangle of support under each foot, you can imagine 3 points, one under the ball of the big toe, the ball of the pinky toe, the center of the heel. And then see if you can let the rocking start to settle the weight of your body on that triangle of support. If you're feeling a lot of compression in the thighs, maybe you're standing a little closer together with the feet. See what it would feel like just to widen the feet a tiny bit more and then reassess. Is that more comfortable in your body? You can let the arms hang down at the sides, or you might choose to rotate the arms so the palms are facing forward. Just trying different things out, see what works for you. And always keeping a little bit of bounce, a little bit of micro bend in both knees. And then gently scan your body. Are there any obvious areas of tension or gripping that you could let go of that you don't need to keep yourself upright in this position? For me, that usually tends to be in the lower back and the bum. And I find if I rest my attention there, I can maybe start to untangle a little bit of that gripping. Maybe not all of it, but I can at least put my attention there and give it some extra love. So now that you're starting to get a feel for your Tadasana, go ahead and take it behind the seat of your chair. Come to face the seat of your chair. Finding that triangle of support again under each foot. Then with your next inhale, let's reach the arms forward and then up any height that is good for your shoulders. Once you get to the top, you may choose to tip back a bit for a little bit of a back arc. And then on the exhale, with a long spine, maybe a generous bend in the knees, start to hinge forward at the hips. So our weight is still back over our feet. And then you can release your hands down to the seat of the chair. So check in here. How is your belly feeling? If it's feeling compressed, you may choose to, I'm going to turn this way just so you can see me a bit. You can choose to maybe take the feet just a tiny bit wider, see how that feels. When you come into your forward fold and your arms are coming down, you can also choose to take the hands to the hip creases and then press the belly in and up as you fold forward. You can try that and see how that feels in your body. You may choose to take the belly down and in. Sometimes that can open up a little more space in the middle of the body, make your forward fold a bit more comfortable. So feel free to explore that. You can reset into your forward fold with your hands on the seat of the chair. And then go ahead and start to put some bend in the elbows. As you start to fold forward, maybe letting the head and neck release towards the seat of the chair. And maybe having the elbows generously bent, but still having the bulk of the weight of the body into the feet. You could release your hands from the chair and you're not going to tip forward. And your next inhale, let's start to straighten the arms back out so we come to a flat back. And then your next exhale, bending into the elbows again, letting the head and neck release down. On your next inhale, start to straighten the arms enough that you can make some space to take a large step back with your left foot. Coming onto the ball of the left foot, left heel off the floor. And then start to bend into the right knee. Now, if your right knee is jutting way out past the right ankle and toes, that's probably your cue to step either your right foot a bit more forward or your left foot more back. And then rebend into the right knee, roughly stacking it over the right ankle. Let your shoulders start to relax down and back as much as possible. You might even start to shift the weight back again so you can take some of the weight out of your hands. What would it feel like to shift your weight back enough that maybe you could lift the fingertips off the seat of the chair, starting to find some balance? Now you're welcome to stay right here. Or if you'd like to explore balance a bit more, you may choose to release one hand to the right thigh, or maybe both hands to the thighs. You can also start to walk the hands up the thighs, maybe towards the hips. To help with balance, you can choose to focus on a point on the floor a few feet in front of you. You might be having the torso starting to come up so the spine is long. Let's let the shoulders settle. Take a breath here. You can gently press out through the left heel. When you're ready, keeping that spine long, let's start to walk the hands back down the thigh towards the seat of the chair. And then let's step as many steps as it takes to walk the left foot in to meet the right, maybe the right foot back to meet the left. Let your weight come back into your feet again so that you could lift your hands off the seat of the chair. And then exhale and release back down into your forward fold, releasing the head and neck towards the seat of the chair. Now keeping a generous bend in the knees, weight is back in the feet. With your next inhale, you can release the hands from the seat of the chair, press through both feet to rise up, and then release the hands together through heart center. Go ahead and find your Tadasana again in front of the seat of the chair. Maybe choosing to close the eyes. Maybe focusing your gaze down on that point on the floor to help with balance. And just notice how you feel. We've done one side in a lunge. You may or may not notice differences in your body from side to side, maybe differences or not in your breath, or the temperature that you feel in your body. And now let's go ahead and do the other side. So inhale to sweep the arms forward and up, maybe inviting a little bit of a back bend at the top, and then start to hinge forward from the hips on your exhale, maybe taking the hands to the belly to move it out of the way. Releasing the hands to the seat of the chair. Let your head and neck release down. Your weight is still back in your feet. Your hands are resting on the chair, but they're not your main support. Inhale, start to straighten the arms, coming up to a flat back. And then exhale, releasing down again into your forward fold. Inhale, start to straighten the arms out enough that you open up some space in the front side of the body to take a large step back with the right foot, coming onto the ball of the right foot, and then bending into the left knee. Check in with where your knee is at. If it's jutting way out past, maybe walk that left foot a bit more forward, re-bend into the left knee. And then again, start to check in, shift the weight so it's mostly into the feet. Can you shift your weight back enough? If you press into both feet, can you release your hands from the seat of the chair? So challenge balance. Go ahead and try that. You can imagine gently pressing out through the heel of the right foot. So stay right here. Or if you want to play some more with balance, you may choose to start to release one hand, maybe both hands, to the left thigh. As you walk them up the left thigh, maybe towards the hands to the hips. And then using that drishti, that gaze, focusing on a point on the floor, a few feet in front of you. Having some bounce in your stance here. If your lower back is feeling a little tweaked, try tucking the tailbone down and pressing a bit forward. Imagine pressing forward through the right front of the thigh and the right hip. Taking a breath here, letting the shoulders soften. And then when you're ready, if you're up like this, you can start to walk the hands back down the left thigh, eventually bringing the hands to the seat of the chair. And then in one or several steps, start to hop the right foot in to meet the left, maybe even bringing the left foot back to meet the right. Shifting the weight into the feet, little bend in the knees. Go ahead and release the head and neck down towards the seat of the chair on your exhale. Let's take a full breath here. Weight is still back in the feet. Generous bend in the knees. Releasing the hands from the chair. Start to press into the feet as you rise up. And then bring the hands down together through heart center. Find your Tadasana again. Eyes open and focusing on your point on the floor or eyes closed. Now that you've done both sides, notice how you're feeling. Observing changes, if any, in the pace and qualities of the breath. Differences, if any, in the feeling of the temperature of the body. We did quite a bit of work in the legs What do you notice about the sensations in the legs and feet? And when you feel ready, you can open the eyes if they were closed. Let's make our way back to a comfortable seat. I'm going to choose to put a blanket back on my chair, but also go ahead and grab your extra blanket. Make your way back to seated. You can, for now, just rest the blanket on your thighs. On your next inhale, let's let the pelvis tip forward, chest and belly expand forward. And then exhale, tipping the pelvis back, rounding the back towards the back of the chair, maybe reaching out through the fingertips. This is one that you might be better served to be more forward in your chair. And moving with the pace of your breath. Inhale, expanding chest and belly forward. You can gently press the shoulders down and back. And then exhale, pressing back through the shoulder blades, tucking everything in, rounding the back towards the back of the chair. And on your next inhale, let's release the hands to the bottom back of the chair, letting the shoulders press softly down and then back, expanding through the chest. Let's take 3 full breaths here. Softening the jaw and tongue. Releasing the hands after your third exhale, giving them a shake. Let's take both hands to the hips and start to dip the left shoulder down, shrugging the right shoulder up, then dipping the right shoulder down, shrugging the left shoulder up. Looking for a little bit of elongation through the side body. And feel free to let this movement get very organic. It doesn't have to just stay into the side body. You can move, flex forward and back. You can also choose to extend the top arm out over the side of the head. And make sure you feel even both sides. And then move in any other way that might feel good to you before we make our way to some stillness. And go ahead and take your extra blanket, open it up wide, and then you can fold it in half the long direction. And then roll it down. They'll end up with a shape about like this. And then you can go ahead and take it behind the neck. We're looking to offer the neck some extra support since we're taking our Shavasana seated. You can tuck the tails under the arms. You may like to cross the blanket in front, then tuck the tails under your arms. I'm even finding I like to tuck them under and then behind me. Lately, that's giving me a little bit extra support, a little bit extra padding behind my back. I seem to like the way that feels. So feel free to explore it for yourself. we're looking to just add some support behind the neck. So start to get situated, comfortable in your chair, whatever that means to you. You might walk the feet a bit forward, let the knees fall apart. And then you can close the eyes or soften the gaze down. Allowing yourself, your attention to settle in and rest on the natural rhythm of the breath, the ebb and flow of the breath. And then you can encourage your belly, heart, throat, jaw, and tongue to all soften. You might choose to rest one hand on the belly. That can help you connect into the breath. And with each inhale, allowing the belly to expand into the palm of your hand. And with each exhale, allowing the belly to relax back towards the spine. Let's move through the body with a body scan, and as we do so and name the different parts of the body, see if you can allow them to feel soft and heavy and settle into that support beneath you, the floor, your chair, your blanket. Let's start by feeling the feet on the floor. Coming up through the ankles, lower legs, knees, upper legs and hips, the bum and the chair. As you're noticing this bottom part of the body, feel free to make any adjustments that might add to your ease and comfort here. And then allow the lower part of the body to be soft and heavy and settle into stillness. Moving up into the torso, the front body, the belly, chest, front of the shoulders, the back body, lower back, middle back, upper back, tops of the shoulders, upper arms, elbows, lower arms, wrists, and hands. Making any adjustments to this middle part of the body to add to your ease and comfort in this moment. And then allow the middle part of the body to be soft and heavy and settle into stillness. Coming up into the neck, jaw, cheeks, eyes, ears, back of the head, forehead, and top of the head. Making any adjustments to the head and neck to add to your ease and comfort here. Then allow the head and neck to be soft and heavy and settle into stillness. And you might imagine this stillness, dripping down from the top of your head, gently washing down the body, all the way back down to the feet. I am worthy of liberation. I want to focus on thriving towards that liberation, not on surviving. I don't want to figure out a way to exist within oppression. I want to cultivate an entirely new way of being, of living, of loving. I want to center joy. I want to set aside old stories. I want to relieve myself of feeling like I wasn't enough and too much all at the same time. I want to celebrate. I want to cherish it. I want to bask in it and enjoy it. So I am. In your own time, as you feel ready, you can start to invite some small movements back into the body. Perhaps starting with the fingers and toes, wrists and ankles. And then you can continue those movements, let them extend to other areas of the body. With little thought given to how you're going to move, just let the body speak to you. Let the body move in its own way, taking its own time. You can open the eyes or lift the gaze. And if you'd like to join me to close, you can place one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly. And this closing I'm sharing is from one of my teachers, Anna Guest Jelly of Curvy Yoga. May I greet my body with gentleness. May I soften when life invites me to harden. May I listen to my intuition with wisdom and trust it with ease. And may I appreciate my body a little more in this moment, just as it is. And then we can take the hands to press together in front of the heart. Let's take one breath together. We'll inhale and exhale. Thank you so much for choosing to share your time and your practice with me today.